I'm Albert Maritz. I work in all the media, sometimes as an actor and often as a director-producer. I've written some stuff also that are reaping some successes here and there. So I grew up with a father who was an amateur actor. He played in plays everywhere. He played in radio stories. So I went with him to all of these events, and I was very inspired by the people, by him and by the people he worked with. And among them, I think, right, some of the greatest actors that the country had seen. And they were working as amateur theatre people. That means no pay. You help with the set, you help with the wardrobe. They also did their own makeup those days, still beards, everything. I've got black and white films of that to prove. And at school, when they would ask me, what would you like to do for a career? I just thought I want to be that CEO type of guy, who sits and makes notes and then he speaks. And that is a huge irony, because I am not that keen a speaker as I'm sitting here today. And there came a time when there was no TV, so people said, "Oh, that's famous dude with the voice," And I was loud, I think. And then came the time that I had to go to varsity, obviously post-military and so on. And I enrolled at UCT for sciences, and they gave me special permission to do sciences and Afrikaans language. Everybody came back from army, and I thought, all my friends are going to Stellenbosch. That's now something I need to consider. And made the wise or unwise move to go to Stellenbosch. Said to my dad, "Dad, what would you say if I go study drama to become a teacher?" And he said, and also ironically, coming from him, just do what you want to do it well. I think he was quite an extraordinary man, and very, very inventive, creative, wild, and lazy. So that's why, hence the comment about the irony. Then enrolled at Stellenbosch, studied drama in order to become a teacher. End of my third year, helped I was the only male left, so I helped a couple of the ladies with me. Today in the industry, I think only as an actress Isadora Verwees left. Others are writers for Banel Anders and wherever. And then auditioned with these ladies, but decided I'll just enter my own audition. And I got an appointment with PACT. Marius Weyers phones you and he says, "Do you want to come work for us next year?" Then it's a tricky one, eh? Do I now go do my teacher's diploma? So I went and started the teacher's diploma through UNISA immediately, and acted on the stage. And funny enough, I remember doing schools work. We did tons of schools theatre work, and I'm that oak who got up early in the morning. We drank last night, which is cool. Got up early in the morning, and when all the other people were still brushing their teeth, I was doing my voice warm-ups in the street or wherever, I thought it was important. I was probably too focused in one angle. Did thousands of those, I'm exaggerating, hundreds of those shows. Became mainstream for the company, and discovered an amazing thing, and that is I don't enjoy acting in front of an audience that much. And the irony is, if some other people on stage would make mistakes, I'd be the one to help them. But I was always afraid of my own mistakes, which hardly ever happened, but just a fear. And also maybe to mention, I'm an introvert, that we discovered later on. Actors are sometimes, for various reasons, oversensitive beings, same as poets and writers and musos and whatever, I discovered that if I want to be an actor, I must work harder than the guy next to me, for whom it is easier. And obviously veered away from stage acting a little bit, did a lot of film, television, and so on. And always strive to be behind the camera. So I translated for television, I did courses, the multi-camera course and the single camera course, and started filming my own stuff independently. And just moved back to Cape Town and said, I'm going to now come work for the SPCA. That's all I want to do. Maybe I'll find a teaching post. In 1996, I completed that education diploma through UNISA. The offers came. I kept on acting and also acted on stage. I did, and it was a horrific experience to start with, but I did a one-man show about Andre Stander. It was a fantastic script, and I did 80 of those. And some of them, it's just that feeling you're flying, man. It's fantastic. And the audience rewarded me well for conveying that beautiful story, the near wizardry writing of Charles J. Fourie. But nevertheless, I never thought that is what I want to do every day of my life. And I wish I could, but not happened. So I played for Martinez Basson in major theatre productions and so forth. And at some point, there was an audition for a TV series, Konings, down the street. And a fantastic director, Etienne de Villiers, auditioned me. I got the part and had to move back to Joburg to do it. It was a whole year with a break in the middle. And in that break, I did a play with Ilse van Jemmert. So my career just went on and on. You know, I taught at some point. I taught at Northlink. I taught at an educational institution, and I enjoyed that thoroughly. I always thought that I'm a much better facilitator. At some point, I entered a play that somebody thought was very good writing and a worthwhile story for one of the Baxter readings, and I asked some of the leading actors. The one I remember was Deirdre Voliter, for the fact that when we finished with that play, I now directed that. She said, Albert, and there you are an actor's director. It's a massive compliment. It's probably 30 years ago, maybe. And I still recall that so vividly because it was such a compliment. And I think it's also what an actor deserves. To have somebody focusing on his craft, apart from just being there as a director, and now we do the lights and we do the set and we see the script flows and it, treat whatever needs to be treated, wardrobe, the whole thing, sound on television and radio and so on. That there's must be space for attention to the actor and his craft. And the space must also, that I also just learned over the years, that you're not telling the actor what to do, but creating the space for the actor within which the actor needs to work. And I also think that is the art part of the actor, is to fill in that space. And as an actor again, how to fill that space, I think if one want one comment on that, I dare say that that one thing is honesty. So understanding the script, having dissected it, knowing where the character fits into the big picture of the story. Not all the characters are the leads, and the small parts are pivotal in bringing the support and the honesty and the psychological input into what the lead characters are going to be doing. So there's now again an interesting thing, apart now veering away from the honesty part of what I'm trying to say. Being an introvert, my process, I don't even like the word or normally use it. I just know that I feel very at home on a set where there's room for us to go through the lines, the actors opposite each other, so that you know what the input from the other actors are going to be, what are they going to deliver, so that what comes from you is then honest to the writing that a playwright or a film script writer had in mind for his whole story and how to play out that story. So when I'm on a set where that happens, I'm so calm, and it's just wonderful to have that space in which to become secure. What I also learned over the years is, when I was younger, it was in kind of doing it and getting nice and woos, and I was young and athletic and brave. And so I went a bit berserk from time to time, which is fantastic. And then you will have a director who says, the whole Konings thing. There was a director, David Lister, who took over the directing later, and throughout the whole of the TV series Konings, the only note he always gave me, nearly always gave me after the first take. He came to me and he just went like this. Which meant just make it a bit less. So, eventually I got a call at some point. Somebody said to me, we need this play directed. Now, they didn't mention we needed produced as well. So they said, will you do this play for us for a festival? So this incredible classical South African play, and some party was supposed to do it. They wouldn't do it for the money. Something like that. And I said, I'll do just about anything that makes the heart beat warmer, so I didn't mind whatever the money was. And that was the start of quite a number of plays that I did, South African classics, and then also did a lot of experimental stuff in between, some of which are recorded for television and were broadcast as well and were received well. The fact that I think it was very important that I did those classical plays, I always believed in bringing through new blood, unknown actors who just finished studies and haven't been seen yet, and that kind of thing. I must mention, in that very first play, I auditioned widely, and eventually, with the input of the playwright, who was Pieter Fourie, we decided that the only actor out of these auditions I did who can look stupid enough and be very clever in looking stupid, because it was an intricate role, was a bloke with a wild name. He was abusive, and he was had a messy track record, and in his old age he ended up with me in a play where he also had to help with a set and everything like that. And he came to the party completely. His name was Paul Eilers, and he's a little man, and on stage he became big. Like Cobus Rousseau was a little man, And when he is on a stage, is a giant. A ton of that lies in the energy. You know, people say, what is presence? And I think that intelligent energy that you can bring to an audience, whether it be on stage or on camera or wherever. It's just an opinion. Now, this same Paul Eilers was, when he was a young man, he was part of touring companies. Now, especially the Afrikaans touring scene was massive. And these people had to work really hard. The competition was stiff. It's very much like today. And the cake was just that small. So these people had to work hard and put their best foot forward. And Paul Eilers always used to say, now he learned from what he called Johan Fourie. He was a man with a touring company from Wellington. And that, he always just said, we tell a story and we talk hard. We tell a story and we talk loud and we talk soft. Ons vertel 'n storie en ons praat hard en sag. That's what Paul used to say. I think as advice to a beginner actor, maybe that is a little jewel coming straight from Paul Eilers, coming from Johan Fourie, coming from the Afrikaans touring fraternity people. And actors starting out, you know, all of us are so valuable just with what we have to offer. And often we don't actually really know what that is that you have to offer. Something we are passionate about, but it's not necessarily the place where we will end up. Some people are so passionate and know that they are going to end up in that place, and that is good. But it's also good to feel that you're not finding your groove, because maybe you haven't, you know. And it's a matter of just breathing deeply, getting advice from good mentors, responsible mentors, and reading, and you know, doing whatever you can do to enhance your view of this life that is lying ahead of you. And remembering that what you do is right. And if people come along and they criticize or advise, that's also good. You know, listen. It's maybe some wise person in my career somewhere had I overheard saying that the biggest part of acting is the listening. So that would be my advice.